The further you go, the more things come up. Hi guys, I'm Ian McMinn and this is Path to I Am. The further you go, the more things come up. In what I talk about each day, coming from this simple knowing that I am, which we call the knowing state, or coming from this practice of being satisfied, or living from fulfillment, we get to show up as who we really are, as our pinnacle self, and take action moment to moment, more and more, on what's calling to us in each moment. Whether it's time to make that cup of coffee, whether it's time to shoot a video, whether it's time to go to work, etc., do the workout. We get to live more and more, taking action from what's calling to us, from this place of I am and fulfillment, satisfaction. And the further we go, the more things come up. So what I mean by this is you actually know that you're showing up as who you really are, and you're coming from fulfillment, and your actions are reflections of what's calling to you in each moment. When the further you go along, the more triggers you have come up, the more blocks, the more things that present in their path to polarize, to demonstrate a polarity between how you are now versus how you've been. Things from the past, beliefs, blocks, etc., will get to arise within, and you just get to notice them, feel them, come back. And returning to that fulfillment, you get to look at them clearly, kind of like I talked about yesterday, and you get to see them from this new perspective. That's really the key to letting go of the blocks that come up, is coming from this perspective of fulfillment and getting to look at those negative states, those negative beliefs, negative feelings, and see them for what they are, which is a beautiful extension of life experience that's actually showing up to tell me, oh, I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for the next level of fulfillment, the next level of growth, the next level of expansion, because I'm hitting the ceiling. Every time we are coming from our I am, coming from fulfillment, living from that place, and taking genuine action on what's calling to us in each and every moment, filling our days with that. Every time we have something negative come up, it's actually something ready to be let go of, saying, I am hitting this roof and I can let go of that ceiling and I get to float on past it. I actually hit the ceiling as I said that. So the more we live from that place, actually, the more we're going to come across those invisible barriers that we've set up for ourselves in the past. And they'll come up, they'll bubble up in the form of negative thoughts, negative reactions, right? Negative reactions to certain scenarios. Sometimes it'll just be random. There won't even be anything that happens in our external environment. We'll just find ourselves thinking about so-and-so so many years ago. Oh, wow. Oh, I can't believe it. And then we go, oh, interesting. I'm able to notice something came up in me because I've been living from this fulfillment. I've been taking action as an expression of that satisfaction. And then boom, something totally different comes up. It's I talk about the delta, the difference between those two places is so big now because of how we're living, how we're showing up, that we notice it. We notice all of a sudden, wow, I dropped down here. All of a sudden I feel wacky. But I get to go, oh, this is the next thing that's showing up. This is the next kernel of wisdom is being presented. That's how it's always presented, through the negative triggers that come up. They get to affect us. And we resolve that. And then boom, we're going to return to fulfillment. We're going to feel even more fulfilled than before. We're going to feel even more energized. That's when you know you've let it go. When you come back to that fulfillment and you look at that thing and you dissect it, you go, oh, there's no reason for me to feel and think that way. And poof, you feel that energy, that negative energy, all of a sudden, because it's been released, it turns into positive energy in our experience and it feeds us. It's like the fertilizer. You need all the stuff that goes into the fertilizer to make it what it is. So it's actually a gift in disguise. And it's showing us you're ready for the next level. Every time I get triggered, I'm ready for the next level. Every time there's a negative experience, I'm ready for the next level. And so no matter what happens in our lives, coming from fulfillment and coming from action taking that's an extension of that fulfillment, it feels good. It's the next thing that's calling to me, moment to moment to moment. The more I do that, the more I'm going to have these things come up that I get to release, and boom, I grow. Boom, I grow. It's this never-ending cycle. I knew this business trainer once that said, all business problems are personal problems. We hear this with the idea of as within, so without. Every external problem we have is really an internal problem. We actually get to experience that as true. And when we come from that fulfillment and start to take action, we see that. We see, oh, I have all of these. I may have issues within myself that are coming up totally unrelated to some other area in my life. But when I improve those, things start to click into place. So I get to live from fulfillment and take that fulfilling action. And then I don't even need to figure out, this is the cool thing, I don't need to figure out what the blocks and the negative beliefs are. They're going to come roaring up into my experience. I just get to be from fulfillment and take this positive action, this fulfilling action. And I'm going to have all this whack stuff come up. And I'm going to get to return to my center and then look at it with loving eyes and sit there. And like I talked about yesterday, being really real about it, just looking at it, going, what's really going on here? Why would I react in this way? What do I have to believe is true to be having this experience? And coming from that fulfillment, we can have clarity and go, oh, that's a really silly thing to believe. I don't need to believe that. Poof. And we can feel it release. And we can sit with it as long as it needs. We can, from that place of I am awareness, we can look at it and sit with it until it just kind of unravels. And we get to give it that positive energy, that love, and it will transform. We just get to be really gentle. So yeah, everything comes back to within, and then we'll notice on our path of least resistance, things will open up. So we get guided along this fun path. The more we're in our I am awareness, the more we're taking action from what calls to us. And as we're guided along that road, we get presented with new opportunities, new things open up, new things we get to take action on. And then also we get presented with new things that are blocks that have actually always been there, that are now outdated, and they know they're about to get let go, which is why they come roaring to the surface. They try to convince you that they're real. And actually that's the perfect opportunity to let them go. The more you let them go, the more opportunities, the more fulfilled you feel, the more action you get to take on, and so on and so forth. And so this is how we get to have unfoldings in our lives. And obviously from the I am awareness standpoint, everything's already achieved. There's nothing to do that's required. There's just the things we get to do. This is calling to me right now to create this, to create that, to deliver on this at my job, to show up and be powerful, and getting to follow that inner guidance from that place of total fulfillment. And then, like I said, as the blocks come up, we get to sit with them. We get to return to our center and summon that thing that caused the negativity and give it love. So as the further we go along our path, as the further you go, the more things come up. I'm Ian McMinn. This is Path to I Am. I hope you enjoyed this today. The further you go, the more things come up. Yeah, I have a number of links, as I've talked about, linked to my website where you can reach out to me for people that are they're looking for the the top tier long-term help. Life Path Wayfarer is that journey. And those are, I mean, the people that work with me in that way really know who they are. That's my deep dive program over a long period of time. That's through the website link. I also have a link in the description for a 30-minute one-off session, a 60-minute one-off session. I have a link for donations, because that's sometimes something people do to express their fulfillment. That's an action that calls to them to do some of the time. And then, link to my podcast. I Am Podcast with its own distinct episodes. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today. Another way of looking at this, because really, guys, the more you get triggered, the better. It shows that you're growing, and actually the rate at which we get triggered, we get to release more and more and more. And before long, we're looking at ourselves going, wow, I have really changed. I mean, I'm coming from this I am where everything's achieved and I am my ideal self, but man, I'm seeing it really show up within me, getting to let go of all these things. So I hope you enjoyed it today, and I will see you on the next one, guys.